Okay, so basically this game, what I'm gonna do here, your thing is downloading your video that you sent me. I downloaded it because it wouldn't load properly when I was recording and trying to watch it. So I had to download it, which is fine. I'm just gonna record this while it's downloading because I was watching your VOD and I noticed a couple things that you do that is just a really big baseline. So I'm gonna make this a separate video. This is just a really big baseline that you shouldn't do. It's a big no-no. I'm probably gonna put this on my YouTube and then just send you the link there because my Microsoft doesn't really work that well. It doesn't really like to work that well.
My ult's ready.
So basically, two things I see you do. Okay, first thing. See this? You're sweeping the floor. This is one of the worst things you can do as a new player. Okay, I see you do this all the time in the videos. You're looking down. Okay, everyone does this. Everyone does this at some point. Okay, but it's a bad thing to do. It's a bad habit because you see someone. Let's go to the range real quick. That's why I went to the range because it's easier to show. You're sweeping the floor, and you see someone, right? You see someone, say Bob right here. You're sweeping the floor, you see someone, then you gotta flick all the way up towards their head, and you're usually over adjusting here because you're flicking up. You get scared, you see them. Then you probably crouch spray, and then you gotta micro adjust their head, okay? So you sweep the floor, and then boom. It's a little easier for me to do it because I've kind of micro adjusting for a while now. But you sweeping the floor, or any new players, not just you, any new player sweeping the floor is pretty bad because then you gotta flick up and then micro adjust, right? If you were head height, you just micro adjust. Okay, you remove a whole input. And how to tell head height? You're like, oh, well, I'm new. I don't really know head height. Perfect. The game gives you parameters or like guides on where head height is. Okay, let's go anywhere on the map. You see these boxes? There will be these boxes on every single map. This is head height. That's where you know head height is. This box right here. Okay, there's a bunch of these boxes everywhere. Okay, right here. A lot of them will look like this wooden box, but just so you know, the boxes that are that big that look like around your sides like this, that's head height. Okay, you want to aim a little bit under it, or like at it sometimes. Probably for you, you want to aim at it. Okay, because that's like right above the head, and that's way better for you. Right. So you want to aim here. You see how this is? You see how this is right here? I'm aiming at this box, and then I can go here, and that's head height. Okay. Because you're aiming at the floor, you gotta flick up, micro adjust. Instead, you aim at the box, and then you just kind of sweep your mouse across. Okay. So you find a box at the start of the game, and then you just sweep your mouse across. Okay. Kind of move like this, right? The more you play, the more you get used to it. But these boxes are just kind of like a guideline on where to aim. Okay. Second thing I noticed is crouch spraying. You'll see a lot of videos if you look at any videos on how to be better at Valorant. You'll see a lot of videos on like, oh, you shouldn't crouch spray if you're new, unbind crouch, blah blah blah. Crouching isn't bad. Okay, that's the first thing. If you ever watch a video and says don't crouch, right? Don't crouch. That's wrong. Okay, because crouching is pretty good. A lot of pros use it too, but it's instant crouching, which is bad. Okay, and that is crouching before you start taking your first shot. Because when you crouch, that's committing to a fight, right? Just remember, crouch equals commit. When you crouch, you commit to the fight because you're immobile, right? You're slower. You can't really move anywhere when you're crouching. So that's when you're committing to the fight. You see either he dies or I die, all right? And then you uncrouch. Most of the time. You can do the primi crouch, of course, which is you tap crouch, but that's like a, yeah, it's like a primi thing. But for you at least, crouching before you shoot is the bad thing, okay? That's the difference. Because then you just instantly commit to the fight, and you don't have an option to change, right? Because sometimes in a fight, depending on the util or circumstances, you're like, hey, this is a bad fight, I should probably retreat, like tactically. But if you crouch, you completely remove that option. Okay, then you have to commit, and sometimes it leads to wonky fights. Okay, so you just wanna take a couple shots first, and usually when you know you want to commit to a fight is when you dink someone. Okay, because when you dink someone, they get slower, right? So you're shooting, you're missing, there's movement error, and then you hit them, right? Then they're slower, so then you can go for the crouch because then they can't run out of your spray. Okay. that's when you want to spray. So just like as a guideline, like a recap, don't instant crouch spray. Try and start crouch spraying when you hit them like on the shoulder or the leg or something, because then they're slow and they can't run away. Alright, and then use the boxes for head height. Another thing is that doesn't get talked about as much is your teammates' tempo, okay? Because in this game, you kind of need your teammates. It's not like CS where you can just 1v5 every round, right? Because there's util and everything, you need your teammates. Okay, so if your teammate's doing something stupid, you kind of have to babysit them, alright? It usually depends, but in low elo, the enemy team is bad too, right? Like in higher elo, you don't want to babysit your teammate because then you're just gonna die too. But in low elo, the enemies are just as dumb, so you can babysit your teammate. Alright, so say they're just running it down, running in and whatever, with no care in the world, just trying to shoot heads wherever. You want to kind of just follow them, match their tempo, because if they die, you can at least use them as bait, right? Take your teammates doing something stupid, and then use them as bait. Alright? Because they just run in and they die, well, you know someone is there, and if you're matching their tempo, you just go in right behind them, and you trade them, right? They run in, they insta-die. Because if you're not matching their tempo, then they're doing something stupid and insta-die, then you can't get the trade, right? So they run in, they instantly die, and you're back in main, because you're like, well, this guy's doing something stupid again, and then you're just a man down for no reason, right? So you want to match their tempo. You want to follow them up, and that doesn't mean going ahead of them. It's kind of like baiting them, because most likely they're gonna be the duelist doing something stupid. So you just want to bait. You want to bait them, but also make sure to keep them safe, right? Because if you're both shooting at something, you want to shoot with them, right? Say you and your teammate here are shooting at something, you want to shoot with them, right? You don't want to wait for them to die and then kill them, because then that just makes you, a bad teammate. You want to shoot with them, and then you want to at least get the trade, right? So if you match their tempo, which is their speed when they're running in, how they're doing things, if you just follow them up closely, you can most likely get the trade and then be at least even in the case of like a stupid teammate. Alright. And that's just a thing I noticed when watching your videos. You're looking down at the ground, and so it makes it harder when you go up. You're still hitting headshots, which is pretty good, but you're looking up, and then that takes like a whole nother movement that can just be completely removed if you look at the boxes, right? And then the other thing I talked about was, I completely forgot. I'll probably remember in a second. But the last one was tempo, which I saw a lot too in your gameplay. You were really just kind of slow with helping your teammates, right? If your teammates running it down, you were shift walking, which doesn't really make sense because if your teammate's running it down, they can already hear your teammate coming, and then you just want to follow them behind them. I'll probably review your VOD for more like in-depth thing, or if you just want to screen share one day to me, and then I'll just review it more. But these are just like the most basic things you can do when you're learning the game that's the first time. Alright, you want to make sure you get head height. You want to make sure, crouch spraying, yeah, that was another one. A lot of people do this. Insta crouch spraying is bad, crouch spraying is not bad, okay? You only want to crouch spray when you hit someone, because then they're slow, they can't run away, right? Because if you insta crouch, you can't move, you're hitting your shots. Someone, like a good player, is just going to strafe, let you stay immobile, and then just head tap you. Alright, and then you just insta die, and you can't do anything, because you're following them like this, and they're already ahead of your bullets. So insta crouch spraying, don't do that. You want to hit them first, and then spray. Usually on a gun like the Guardian, you don't want to do this, right? Because crouch spraying on the Guardian makes no sense, right? Guardian is the most accurate gun in the game. Crouch spraying does not make a difference, right? It's even better because you can strafe in between your shots. You can strafe in between your shots, which will make you harder to hit. Because even if you're moving just like this, like slightly, right? It's still a whole movement that you're moving, and then they have to micro adjust to that. Strafing is a whole new thing. You should do that after you practice more, because that's like next level up, right? Your strafing is next level up. But yeah, for basics, don't insta crouch. Crouch when you hit someone. Look for the boxes. That's head height. Aim at it, right? That's head height. And then focusing on your teammate's tempo. because if you are not with them, happens a lot in low elo, right? People are too scared or whatever, and they just don't follow their teammates, and then you guys are just isolating these fights for the enemies, which makes it so much easier, right? Like, imagine in League, right? Like, your teammate just goes into a fight first, like, engages, and no one's behind them, they just die for nothing, right? But if you're with them while they engage, then the engage is really good, right? Just think of it as, like, League, right? So you want to follow them up. It's just like League. Follow them up, you know? And that's just kind of it for the basics. I'm probably going to just review your VOD after it downloads, and then I will just do personal critiques to you. But this is just something that you should know as like a new player, just starting the game. Alright.